And welcome back to CoinDesk Live. We're live streaming from Consensus 2018, our blockchain cryptocurrency industry conference, largest in the world, ongoing in New York at the New York Hilton Midtown right now. Of course, I'm your co-host for CoinDesk Live, Pete Rizzo, U.S. editor for CoinDesk. Next guest here, we have two distinguished guests, Sunny Liu, who's co-founder and CEO of Vechain Tech, an enterprise-focused decentralized application platform. And I have Luca Crisciotti, and he is the CEO of Business Assurance at DNV GL. Welcome to the show, and anyone who has questions, once again, streaming to Facebook and Periscope, hashtag CoinDesk Live. So getting back to our guests here, a bit of an unlikely pairing. What we have recently announced on CoinDesk.com, you can read more about the partnership, a 150-year-old business assurance and risk management company with a one-year-old startup with two tokens working to bring blockchain disruption to enterprise. Bit of an odd couple. How did you guys get together? And maybe Luca, you can give us a perspective. Why are you here making this partnership now?
Yeah, well, for us today is really an important day. We are announcing the acquisition of a minority stake in Vechain.
So you purchased, have you purchased tokens, or is it equity in
no, it's
the
equity,
Vechain
it's
company?
equity.
Okay.
It's equity in,
so still a traditional move, equity in the
We
company.
are going also to make another announcement linked to that one, because we will become an authority node, which means that we are going to manage our own, let's say, server, basically, to produce all the gas needed to fuel all the transactions that will be supported by the blockchain.
Your company will be running a node on the blockchain network
Absolutely,
and processing transactions for the network.
Yeah. And this is to support our ambition to create a new digital assurance company. As you said, our company is 150 years old. We do provide risk management and quality assurance services. We serve a wide range of industry sectors. Every day we have thousands of people around the world just checking that product and processes are built following international standards. And we are taking advantage of the new digital technologies such as blockchain, Internet of Things, big data, to introduce again a new concept of digital assurance.
So is this about exploring the technology, but it sounds like you're actually going to be running, processing transactions on the network. What's the value?
Well, let's say that we are already adopting this technology.
And then by this technology, you mean blockchain or
So
Vechain,
first of all, we started 1 year ago. All of our certificates are issued using a blockchain. In that case, it's a private blockchain.
Okay.
And we have already started to work with several customers around the world. We have, for example, winemakers in Italy, or medical device producers, or, you name it, car manufacturing companies that are working with us together with Vechain to introduce blockchain in everything they are doing. And we are taking advantage again of this technology to rewrite basically the digital assurance concept.
So Sonny, let's talk a little bit more about that. So what is the blockchain being used for here? When Luca's talking about putting these agreements, these relationships in a digital environment, where does Vechain fit in there?
Well, actually, the story of DNV and Vechain starts in Consensus last year, and that was the first time we met. And then we find ourselves in a quite matching vision, and we are trying to build up the public blockchain, the open platform, to adopt massive enterprise applications for real-world application. And DNVGR is looking for that kind of platform, to transform the traditional business assurance service to a digital assurance service, to serving the customers, which is quite big, large portfolio, about like 80,000 different enterprises. So that's why we, the old school company and also the new startup in the crypto, but we still can find the common points and, holding the hands and going to the future. That's actually, I was very impressive. Honestly, the 150 years old company can not only recognize the potential of the blockchain technology, but really, increment some real application for the real world. This is really impressive, actually.
There's one important thing that I would like to say about, again, blockchain and what we are doing together. And here at Consensus this year, I've heard a lot of presentations about supply chain, how blockchain could improve the way that supply chain are managed.
Right.
And there's one key word that has been used several times, and this is about traceability and origin. That's something that we do as well. But our project, our ideas goes beyond this concept of traceability. What we would like to do through the blockchain is to communicate performances of product or processes with regard to several other aspects. For example, I don't know, how much water has been consumed to produce a product, how much energy has been produced to produce that product, or
so you want to track how those processes.
Exactly. So it's not only about the region from which place the product is coming from, but also, you know, how it took to produce that product. And this is giving also a kind of full transparency towards the consumers, that just scanning a QR code on a product could retrieve all this interesting information.
So it sounds like you want that immutable history, that record of trust. Why Vechain specifically? Obviously, no shortage of cryptocurrencies and blockchain providers here. What was the attraction?
I think that 1 year ago we have been, again, here at Consensus, and we met several companies. And what was really unique with Vechain was their mission, their culture, which is pretty much the same what we have in business assurance in the MVGL. You know, again, we are a traditional company, and talking to Sunny, he's coming from the business, so his idea was not to build up a company to maximize the value of a token, but this really was to serve customers, you know, and that's the vision that we share.
You're not trying to maximize the value of the token?
well,
it's a side effect, you know.
Yeah, it's a side effect. And on top of that, I think most of the enterprises, like DMVGO and his customers, you know, prefer solution other than technology. So if you're just doing like a blockchain, it's hard to, let's say, to interact or serving the real people in the real world. So we're not only providing the blockchain, but also like a matching technology, like IoTs, and we serve the applications, we serve the solutions to most of the enterprises. That's what we do. So immediately we find, like, you know, we are like quite in line, and we're providing the new solution, new products to the enterprises in the world to maximize the usage of the blockchain technology.
So Luca, we talked about risk management, though, obviously on the spectrum of companies here, not saying, you know, the perception is that cryptocurrencies are a bit risky. I guess why kind of go into the market and work with someone who's trying to build a public network with a public cryptocurrency that anyone can buy?
Yeah, well, I had an interesting discussion also within the company about cryptocurrency, you know, and I think that there's a statement, I don't remember whom said that, but I mean, cannot be blockchain without cryptocurrency, you know. So
that's what you believe?
Yeah, I think so, you know, and but you have to look at it as a mean to make sure that all the transactions in the blockchain are possible, because they are going to cost a fraction of $1 or €1. You cannot use fiat currencies to do that, you know. So I don't see it as really as an issue at all, I mean, from my point of view. And again, if you look at presentation these days, most of them are, you know, talking about technology, you know, what you can do with the technology, and it's not about, again, cryptocurrency, you know, per se, you know. So that's what I feel, I mean, also being here.
And so, Sonny, you mentioned that Vechain, you know, obviously early stage, so the company was 1 year old. You have a token right now. It's on the Ethereum blockchain. It sounds like you're ready to go on your own and create a new blockchain. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that transition. Are you guys working on that at all? Where's this node going to be that you're working together?
Actually, in the past 2 or 3 years, we have accumulated around 20-25 use cases with different enterprises and also the partnerships like DMVGL. But we have 2 major discoveries, actually. The first one, we believe in the public blockchain. It's kind of like, you know, the consortium blockchain or private blockchain. To me, it's kind of like a LAN network, and the future should be internet, like public blockchain. The second discovery, we find out, you know, even we have, you know, like Ethereum as like a major public blockchain and the others, but there are very few, you know, commercial applications, or real-world applications has been running and deployed on that. So we have been discussing with the partner like DMVGO, you know, try to understand why. So the feedback we got is majorly focused on the 3 major things. The firstly is the public blockchain, even like a Bitcoin, it kind of lack of governance. The governance means, you know, there is no quick decision or no major upgrades can be done quickly to fill the different requirements. So our solution working with DMVGO is try to find a balance between the decentralization and the centralization. meaning we want to maintain the decentralization part for the transparency, publicity, and the trust, but also we want to maintain the centralized part, make sure the efficiency, like make the quick decision and quick iterations to feel, to fulfill the requirements of the more and more business.
So once again, taking questions at hashtag CoinDeskLive, that's LIVE. We've got a question from Periscope users now. I think this is one for Luca. So it sounds like the question is, you're buying an equity stake in Vechain Tech. Obviously there's obviously a Vechain Foundation also that helps operate the network. I guess, what do you see as the opportunity or the vision for the exit strategy here for a startup that's working with a nonprofit to create an ecosystem? I guess, how do you keep all that in mind, or what's the strategy behind investing in that way?
Yeah, the reason why we decided, we were already working together through a commercial partnership, and this has been signed almost 1 year ago now. But we decided to invest because we would like to share more and more resources together. So we are going to invest together on innovation projects, and that's something that you can do if you are, again, a true partner. So owning a minority shares would allow us to do these things in a faster way. So it's basically, again, a common vision to develop something together.
But don't you want sort of a big unicorn, kind of? That's where you're like, isn't that what the investment is about?
Yeah, well, let's say, again, you have to understand that our company has always looked at investment not only, let's say, looking at the return of the investment, to maximize, again, the money that you can get out of it. But it's more on the technological side, So we would like to secure a partnership with a technological partner, again, technological company and together invest in what we think is the right future.
And also, as Vechain, we do appreciate, all of the feedback and advisories, and also the explorations. We are working together to find out or explore the use case of blockchain. This is our mission. We believe the future of this cutting-edge technology is about application and use cases. That's what we're working on.
But I guess my question is, how do we ensure that everyone benefits here, right? We've got the coin holders who own some coins, and maybe they want to see their value there. We now have equity shareholders who want to see Vechain Tech succeed. We have the nonprofit that wants to manage the Vechain technology. There's a lot of players.
It's a simple
here.
question from my point of view. If you want to maximize the value of your investment, in that case, is a coin that you own, I think that I would appreciate, let's say, a company presenting a lot of, let's say, cases, a lot of ideas on how to provide this technology to a wide audience, And I said before that this for sure would be a side effect, So we are not, or Vechain, I believe, is not one of the many initiatives here that would like, again, just to gather money from investors and then you don't know what they're going to do, and maybe in a few months they are disappearing. They're fully focused on developing technology, So the answer is, I think that investors should be happy to look at us as two entities working together to serve as much customers as possible, and because this will then affect the value also of the...
I think it's simply to say more utility, the token price will be higher, or the token valuation will be higher. So partnership with DMVGO, that means we have massive business opportunities in our portfolios, in our pipelines. We are able to build up more and more applications running on the Vechain blockchain that will give the demand of the token.
Why did you say, you said so the utility will, so if more people are using it, then the price will go up, is that what you're saying?
Well, more utility, more applications running, and or more prosper of the ecosystem Vechain, for sure the higher valuation of the token. That's simply to say.
Interesting. Okay, and even with the two-token structure, that's going to continue to be the same?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure, we wanted to eliminate the barrier of the enterprise to go into. Actually, there is a common issue of the economic model for almost all of the public blockchains, which is the cost to use a blockchain is linked to the token valuation. For example, you pay a Bitcoin for a payment, right? You pay the transaction fees of the Bitcoin. So that generates a typical paradox. That means more utility, higher valuation, that means also higher cost, and nobody will use it anymore. So we wanted to separate the twin tokens one is supporting the commercial activities running on the blockchain. The other one is actually serving the purpose for the cost only. Those two are serving the two different purposes, should be running separately.
I know you've got a new white paper coming out soon that'll explain all this.
Yeah, the white paper should be released in days, let's say 3 or 4 days, and you guys will see what's going on really.
And we'll look forward to that. Once again, take questions, hashtag CoinDesk Live. You guys have been at the conference, you've been at previous consensus events. What's the temperature out there like? Do you think there's going to be more partnerships like this? Luca, businesses like yourself, willing to take on even an interest in ownership in these platforms? Is that going to be a trend that we're going to see continue?
Yeah, well, what was interesting here yesterday and today was to talk to, let's say, participants here, and I see that there's a kind of similar visions. Blockchain is seen as something that is going to improve our everyday life. Of course, here there's a lot of people. I mean,
blockchain is going to improve your everyday life.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not, let's say, a technical guy, but I do think that if I compare this with Wi-Fi, for example, right? You don't know, at least I don't know anything about protocols or technical stuff. I know that I can connect my phone and enjoy a connection, and I think that blockchain in the future will be more or less something similar. Most of the users are not going to know anything about the technology behind that, but will enjoy the benefit of this technology. That's my vision.
I'm not saying technology is not important, but actually I think we should focus on more applications and use cases. Because honestly, I think most of the people, in the future, they might use blockchain every day or every steps of their life, but they don't care about the blockchain. They don't have to.
They don't care.
They don't care, they don't have to, right? For example, you're using email every day. Do you care about the SMTP or TCP/IP? You don't care. That's a blockchain.
There's no price.
So blockchain is an infrastructure technology. But let's say when we are facing the massive adoption of this technology, we're facing 99% of the people are normal people, not developers, not technical guys, right? So we gotta focus on the application, the use case, make the life better, make the transparency better with this technology. That's a goal.
I would add also that, from my perspective, of course, here we are talking about blockchain as the main, let's say, digital technology, but I think that it's also important to understand that if you want to get the best out of it, I think connection with application that you are developing, this should be connected also with other technologies like Internet of Things, big data, artificial intelligence, in a different way, because then each project, each application could be different. So you need to find the right recipe combining these digital technologies to get the best out of them.
Blockchain for normal people coming soon. I want to thank Sunny and Luca for being on the show. And once again, you can follow us facebook.com/CoinDesk, periscope.tv/CoinDesk, hashtag CoinDesk Live. Sunny, Luca, thanks for being on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.